Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. We are gonna take this piece of walnut and we're gonna turn it round, and I am gonna do an inlay. I've got it on a faceplate, and I'm gonna be spending a little over 600, and let's get around. I'm gonna get geared up and let's get going. Okay, I'm just taking a moment to see if this is the shape I'm after. I think it is. I am going to finish making my mortise. I got to get my dovetail in it and flip it around, and then make sure I don't need to do any more reshaping. And then I'm going to go on and cut a groove for my inlay. Okay, so you can see that I have a pretty deep groove here. I may go just a little deeper on this side, just to make sure I have enough depth. But what I've come across is a nail in my wood, so I've got to get that out. Like I said, I'm going to go just a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to sand it and put some sanding sealer, and let that dry to help keep from air bubbles coming back out in the epoxy that I will be putting in it. Let me get this nail. Man, I don't know how deep that goes. Problem could be that the nail head is maybe on the inside, or the screw. It could be a screw and I just got to its tip. Alright, well, just remind me when we go to cut it out that I got a nail in it. Yeah. I'm going to put some CA glue down in there to help keep from that traveling. I am going to take it down a little bit further, at least on this side. I'm just going to throw some of this medium brown CA down in here. And I know that doesn't sound normal for you to do that with metal. It's just that I don't want my epoxy to be seeping down in there. Remember, whenever I go to turn the inside, to be using my carbides. I'm going to do a quick sand with some 120 grit, not to finish it off, just to kind of tighten up the wood a little bit before I put the sanding sealer on it. Alright, the sanding sealer is dried, so as you can see, sunflowers is what I'm going to put in my inlay. They're just a little fake flower. I really wish I had some real sunflowers, pressed sunflowers. So I'm going to take a little bit of the medium CA, give that a spray, and let's attach them that way. Okay, So I built my mold, lots of hot glue. Hopefully it holds. I do have it in these Walmart bags just in case it decides to leak. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this, and I see a little string of hot glue. I don't want that in the middle of my epoxy. And I'll get it in the pressure pot. Now I just have to hope there is no little air bubbles trapped underneath the edge of that. I have a little hook tool. I wonder if I should use it. That'll maybe help bring up any of the air bubbles, hopefully. There is some. And the little cracks and crevices. Right in there. Probably gonna not have it. I won't push my luck with them. Hopefully that'll bring out any little air bubbles that I might have trapped underneath there. Okay, so into the pressure pot we go, and cross our fingers that we don't spring a leak. Okay, we're out of the pressure pot. Let's see. Doesn't look like we had any leaks. So let's see how the epoxy did. Just gonna put some denatured alcohol down around this. It helps release that hot glue. Looks pretty good. I do see a few air bubbles resting on this piece, which that was how it was set in the pressure pot, was with the chuck up. So that's where the air bubbles would have gotten trapped, especially on that far corner. So whenever I go to turn the inside, we'll have to see. I might have to do a few repairs. I'm going to start by getting rid of this extra epoxy, and then we'll see if there is any repairs. Like I said, this space right in here, I'm missing some epoxy. So we'll fix that, and probably whenever I go to hollow out the inside, I may have an issue with a few air bubbles. All right, let me get geared up and let's start spinning. Okay, so I have the Let's Resin UV resin kit, the 12 colors. Yeah, I got lots of colors to choose from, one of them being yellow. So I am going to use that one, and we're going to see how well it wants to drip down here. I have this to try to scrape out any little air bubbles that might be trying to lurk down in there. Right in through here, it kind of goes back there a little ways. I may have to refill it from the inside, but let's see. Oh, it's not screw the lid. Probably should have gloves on. And of course it is not going to be the same color as my yellow, but at least it is a yellow, and hopefully it will do the job. And actually I should have put some sanding sealer on that edge. Ooh. Yeah, it went down in there quite a ways. So let me real quick put some sanding sealer on that. That way I don't end up with the resin or the resin staining. Alright, so let's move on forward. I may have to kind of do it in stages too. Let's see how far down that wants to go. Yeah, that goes very deep. Very deep. No, knock it about and get some air bubbles out. Looks like I might have at least reached some kind of bottom with it. So let's cure that, and then I will put another layer on it. That way just going to kind of put that between there and there. Just let it get set up for a few minutes. I'm going to go around and let this cool a little bit, and I'm going to do this little edge. And I still managed to get an air bubble in it. Did it? I don't think. I didn't pay that close of attention, did I? Nope, nope, nope. Okay, let's finish with that one. Whoa! Well, I got that out. Went looking for it and I couldn't find it, so she flung somewhere. Let me see. I even got my magnet out and looked through my shavings, but didn't come across it. I don't know if this is strong enough to detect if there's any more down in there, because I know it showed up. You know, in the inlay process. My concern is whether I got it all. I don't see any other pieces of metal, but it doesn't mean that it ain't there. Alright, so let's get back to turning, and hopefully we don't have any more of that business going on. So, those little plastic nubby things are what's given me some really big problems. So I've got to figure out what I want to do with those. I kind of wish I would have taken them apart, but I thought it might look interesting on the inside to see those little green things. Is that where I did my... That is weird. I don't even know where I did my... Maybe right in here. So, I gotta figure out what I want to do about that situation, because I keep getting chatter because I keep digging into them. So I have to make a decision on what to do with them. This is what I'm going to do for now. I'm going to use this little tip in my Dremel, and it's just one of these little, I think it's more for engraving. But I am going to Dremel out each of the centers. I've already done a few. And then I am going to sand and see if I can get that somewhat level. Then I will try to fill it with some thing. I haven't decided yet. we're gonna at least get these dremelled out. So again, we're gonna use some of the Let's Resin UV resin kit, the 12 colors. I'm gonna start out using the light green. If I don't like the look of it, then we'll just go back with the yellow that we were using. Okay, so I just wiped it all down with some denatured alcohol just to get any extra dust off of it. Now I'm going to put some sanding sealer on it. We made it to the end of another one. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me and watching me all the way to the end. I also want to give a shout out to all my subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed, jump on down there and subscribe. It's free. Give me that thumbs up if you like the video, and leave me a comment. I enjoy hearing from everybody. So let's talk about this week's video. The wood, of course, is walnut, and the flowers, I were just a fake flower that I got at a craft store, and I don't know if they're called the Black-Eyed Susans or if they're if they're sunflowers, I want to call them sunflowers, but you know, I think sunflowers is a lot bigger. But a form of a sunflower. So let's, you know, the wood is beautiful as always with walnut. And the bottom, let's have a look at, and I don't know, the light's gonna catch that a little weird, and I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, it's gonna blur. I was unable to bring the inside of this down all the way because when I shaped my bowl, I should have left just a little bit more, because if I would have brought that inside down, I'm already a lot thinner and down in this section than I am up here, and I would have had to go really almost to nothing, and I would have gone through my center. So that is a lesson learned. Make sure you leave enough depth on the bottom of your piece if you're going to do this wide of an inlay. Another lesson learned is the little green plastic pieces on the inside. You can kind of fill those still because they just are, I don't know, they're whatever they're made out of. It's hard to like sand them down, tool them down right. And of course you've seen how I had to drill out the centers. So the Let's Resin UV colored resin worked great. You know, it came to the rescue where I could just drop a little of the green down in there, and then of course the yellow I used for the void that I had in it. So if you're interested in any of the Let's Resin products, I have links below, and it'll take you directly to the site. And if you want to save 10%, use my code Vicky10, and that'll save you 10% on the Let's Resin products that I used. So yeah, just pop down there, hit that link, and when you go to purchase, put Vicky10 in, and that'll give you a discount. So maybe as a solution to that, if I could get a thick enough layer of the UV maybe, and then glue whatever to it, I could be able to turn away some of that. And that's just how it's going to work. But I still think it turned out fantastic. Like I said, there is a little texture in here where you can feel the little green stem, you know. So I mean, that doesn't bother me too much. Really doesn't bother me at all. There are some air bubbles setting down in here, and I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I don't know if I bring it over to this camera, if you can see better. You see the little air bubbles that's been captured right here. From a distance, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I see them, so it bothers me. I don't know how many people would be bothered by it, and I was concerned with that. Oh, there's a pretty big one right there. And that's the reason I ran that tool, hoping that I could pull those air bubbles out. I probably would not have had as much of a problem with the air bubbles being trapped if I would have used a deep pour. I just was being impatient and didn't want to wait the 3 to 4 days for a deep pour to cure. I mean, I still could have trapped air bubbles in it, but I also might have had less of a chance of that happening because it would have absorbed into the wood a little more. And you know, that's also can be a downside to using the deep pour, because if it absorbs into the wood, then you could have some epoxy staining in other places that you wouldn't necessarily have. So that was quite a big old long chatty Cathy talk. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. I think she turned out pretty great. I want to tell you guys thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for watching my videos and supporting me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. The thumbs up is always a good thing, and if you have to, you can do the thumbs down. And leave me a comment. So again, thank you very much. I am gonna throw this in the picture box, and I want you guys to have a great day, and we'll see you on the flip side.